Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Leilani. You could also call me Lay. Today I want to do another reading vlog. Specifically, I'm trying to read the books that I own currently and or that have been on my Goodreads TBR shelf for a while. So I'm planning on reading Stephenie Meyer's books that I haven't completed. So the first book is one that I actually own called The Chemist. I don't even know when this book came out. Right, like it came out a few years ago. It's about like an agent. I feel like this is like a spy book, you know, and it's something different that's not vampires and or like a sci-fi element or a fantasy element. So I was like, I bought it because I'm like, oh, I want to read it, and then at least 3 years since I got it and I haven't even picked it up. So my goal is to read this book. The other book I'm reading is going to be an audiobook, so I'm reading Midnight Sun. And what's interesting is I'm already on like chapter 6. As a kid, I read Twilight, the series, multiple times. I read Twilight so much. I was so addicted to just reading Twilight because it gave me like this escape as a kid. And there was a time when Stephenie Meyer was writing Midnight Sun and she stopped writing it because I think it got leaked or like some stuff got leaked. She was like, I'm not going to finish this book. So I read on the internet like the PDF version of Midnight Sun, and I think it stopped to like when Edward and Bella were going to like the baseball field, I think that's when it stopped. And I read it as a kid and I loved it. Now, this is, I don't even know how many years later, but I'm listening to an audiobook of it and I like the narrator's voice. But when I'm listening to it, it reminds me of the character Joe from You and how creepy he is, because we're on that stalker level type of thing that's happening right now, right? And it's just so interesting because I'm not like, as like a teenager would be eating it up. Like I'd be enjoying it, and I'm not really, I'm kind of bored. Like the only thing that's very like interesting is the fact that Edward wants to murder people. Like he's like ride or die Bella. But then when it's not like the murdering stuff or like the stalking stuff, it's like my thoughts are Bella, 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 you know? And I'm like, honey, you need a breather. But then also the fact that I like his perspective, because I'm like, I want to know what's gonna happen, because I would be interested in like when he leaves a new moon, you know, like what the hell were you doing when you weren't with Bella? But I don't think she's gonna continue the series, because I read an article where it says like she wouldn't write in Edward's perspective because it gives her anxiety or something like that, or makes her anxious, but she'll write in Renesmee's. Not Renesmee's. I don't think it's Renesmee's. Whatever. Somebody else's perspective, and I'm like, I'm not here for that. I want to know, you know? So I'm gonna read the New Moon book. Not New Moon. Midnight Sun. Jesus. I'm gonna read Midnight Sun first, and then I'll just give you an update. So far, how I feel is Mike, whatever his name is, trash. He's been trash. He's always been trash. But like now listening to Edward's perspective, because you could see into people's minds, throw him away. Also, Jessica, throw her away. The only good person I like is Angela. That's where I'm at with my life. So I'll give you an update when I have one. Alright, so I'm in my office right now. I'm 8 hours away from finishing Midnight Sun. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm getting kind of bored. Edward is just all about Bella, you know? and it's constantly like, it's like a repetitive thing, or it's just, I'm tired of it. I just want him to kill somebody at this point. So yes, what I want to acknowledge is he keeps referring to himself as like a monster and he's gonna go to hell and stuff. And it just reminded me a little bit about Frankenstein and how people view him as a monster and all he wants is love. That's where I'm at in my headspace. I want to finish this book. I'm gonna finish some spreadsheets and I'll give you an update when I have one. Okay, so I finished Midnight Sun. I'm giving it a 3.5 stars. It started picking up after chapter 21 when the Cullens have the baseball game, and then it was just more action-packed, feel type stuff. I really enjoyed it in Edward's perspective because you get to see what the hell he was doing. And it also made me like few of the Cullens more, because in the beginning I was like, I don't like any, I only like Alice, right? I appreciated Emmett more, and then it touched up on like how Jasper's characteristics are and how his powers like conceal like how much of a threat he can be, which was good. And I like that. I also liked like knowing inside Edward's mind when everything was happening, when Bella got bitten. It made me want to re-watch Twilight. It also made me want to reread Breaking Dawn, because in Twilight she was screaming, right? And he has this thing like, I'm the one who caused her pain and that's why I don't want her to become a vampire. So I wonder if in Breaking Dawn, because I haven't reread it since I was in middle school, if when she was silent, she was like, I'm silenced because she knows it would cause Edward pain, you know? Because I think that's what was happening. So I want to reread it. I wish that Stephenie Meyer would continue the series in Edward's perspective. She's not going to. I know she dropped, I think, 2 chapters in Edward's perspectives of New Moon, so I think I'm gonna read that. But yeah, also I got my Owl Crate book box, and this was one of the second books in it, Frankenstein, that I just mentioned earlier in a clip, and I was like, we love to see it, because it's basically like man versus a monster. Like, Edward's having that struggle of like, I'm a monster, like self-loathing, self-hate and stuff, versus like he wants to be like a man, like a good person for Bella and himself. So I thought that was cool. I also watched The Batman, which I gave a 5 stars. I really love it. Not a lot of people are gonna love the movie, because I've seen some reviews and some people are wild, but if you like slow noir detective, like gritty movies, that's what this Batman is, because it's basically following Bruce Wayne after like 2 years of him becoming the Batman, and cops don't like him. Like, there's no connection between that, and he's not the symbol of hope, he is vengeance. The score was good, the imagery was good, the acting was good. I really enjoyed it and I want to rewatch it, so I might do that. But until I rewatch it, I'm going to start reading The Chemist, which is, I don't know if it's maybe it's like a detective type of thing, but it's about agents and stuff. So I'll let you know how I'm feeling about this book. And yeah. Okay, so it's later on in the night. It's cold in the house. I'm wearing a blanket. Bam, bam. I'm also about to make food. But I am now currently listening to the audiobook of The Chemist, because some terminology, I don't understand it unless somebody like talks about it. Like, I hear someone talk about it. So I got the audiobook for free from the library app that I have. And I'm gonna be honest, I've been coming in and out of listening to it, and I don't know how I feel. Basically, we're following around this girl who used to work for this agency that killed bad guys. You know what I'm saying? She is someone who specializes, I think, in like chemicals and other things. But I think her partner died or got murdered, and then the agency was trying to kill her, so she's been on the run for the last 3 years, changing names, changing placements, and all this good stuff. And then we get her getting an email from an old friend from the agency, and he's basically like, hey girl, policy's changed and we need your help because there's this bad guy and blah 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 blah. And she meets up with him and basically is like, maybe he's telling the truth and policy's changed, and if she helps them she could live a normal life or whatever. Now she's torturing somebody, so I'd rather watch this movie, watch a movie of this book than actually read it. That's how I'm feeling, and I think that's what I now know about myself. Like, I like action movies. I don't care to read the books though, so we'll see. And then I also read, because I got bored for a bit, I decided to read the chapters of New Moon that are in other people's perspectives. So yeah, Edward's perspective of when he receives the when he receives the phone call from Rosalie about Bella dying. And then we have Rosalie's perspective, basically when she hangs up on Edward and she's talking to Alice about what happened. I want and need Edward's perspective in New Moon. I'm just saying that right now because that shit was wild. Also, turns out I don't think I like Rosalie simply because how her personality is, because she's like, I wasn't being selfish, I was bringing him to the family and da da da. But it's basically all about her. She even admits that she thinks she's the most prettiest person ever alive and that nobody compares to her and all this other shit. And I'm like, girl. So that's how I'm feeling. I'm going to continue making dinner, and then I'll probably read more of The Chemist and then put on a show or something because that's how I'm feeling. So I'll give you an update when I have one. Okay, so it's later on in the night. I'm like 5 hours away from completing The Chemist, and it's gotten better and kind of worse at the same time. It's a weird thing. First of all, a new character was brought in and he's fighting the girl. We'll call her Alex because that's what she's going by at the moment. And she describes him as looking like Batman. So I'm just gonna say this is a great reading vlog because in the previous clip I mentioned I just watched the new movie, The Batman. And now she's describing her opponent as a Batman lookalike, semi, like his build and the body armor he has, which is cool. I think I like him. I don't know yet. But it got more action-packed. It got more intense. I think where the book is falling off is with this romance that is happening. I'm not trying to give spoilers just in case people want to read it. But there is a romance and they're already at the stage of saying like, I love you. And I'm like, no. So, yeah. But I'm enjoying it. But I think there has to be a plot twist because right now, even though like things have happened, like people have died, I I don't trust the love interest. I feel like he's too nice. And maybe that's me thinking like, you can't trust the nice guy, but like, you know, you just think something's off, something's a little bit off. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna go to sleep and I'll finish this tomorrow and I'll give you a whole update. Okay, so it's a few days later and I have finally finished The Chemist. I was busy not reading The Chemist. I decided to rewatch Batman again, and then I'm gonna rewatch it again tomorrow. I really like that movie a lot. But I decided to rate The Chemist 3 stars. It's listed as mystery thriller. I would say it's more of a mystery, quote unquote. It's a spy action book. Like, you're trying to figure out who is trying to kill Miss Alex, and why, basically. You get like a collaboration between 2 different spies who are part of 2 different agencies. What I think made the book a meh book was some sections dragged on too long, especially when we get to like the middle part. The love romance, I didn't really care for it. I felt like it was really insta-lovey. I thought there would be more to happen at the end because it's like all this build up. So I thought there would be more action at the end. The action scenes were good though, like the murder and torture. That was okay. I feel like this would be like, because it's classified as adult, it would make sense because they're adult characters and like torture and murder. But I think it's still like young adult. Like, you could read this and be fine. So yeah, it's an okay book. I like that she went out of her, I don't know if it's out of her comfort zone, but like she was fantasy, writing about vampires, and then sci-fi, writing about like aliens. I think that's what the host is. I think they're aliens. And then now you got like spy stuff. So I'm interested to see after she's done writing all the Twilight other books, other perspectives, what she's gonna write next. But yeah, so that's it for this vlog. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe or comment or whatever you want to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just suggesting some stuff. If you have a book in mind you think would be great to read, I'm down to read. The next video is hopefully going to be the Koreanathon, hosted by Monica and Chloe, where the whole week you're going to just read Korean books, eat Korean food, watch Korean shows, and all that other cool stuff. So I already have a TBR set out for that. Yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.